All right, now check this out, right? So this is something I've been thinking about for years, ever since I was in hip hop as a secular artist, and it's something I never really told anybody. It's something I never really explained before, but I noticed a trend recently within like the last 10 years, maybe 15 years, something like that. And this has been going on forever as I've done more research. But a lot of famous artists, actors, people that just get famous and things like that off of certain things, and a lot of them seem to believe that they didn't have to sell their soul in order to maintain their status. You hear this all the time. I ain't had to sell my soul. I never sold my soul. I never sell my soul. But let me explain something to you just real fast, right? Where does a person go when they die when they sell their soul? To hell, right? Where does a person go when they die if they didn't sell their soul, but they spent their lives robbing and stealing from people and also lying about it? And not only that, hurting people in the process, physically or emotionally, in order to be able to achieve or maintain their lifestyles. Where do you think they go when they die? To the same hell if they don't repent. So a lot of artists, I kind of hear the things they don't say in everything they do say. They say I never had to sell my soul. But then you listen to their music, and their music is promoting any and everything that will send a person to hell. And not only that, that's the kind of music they have to continue making if they want to maintain their status. So where do you think a person go when they die, when they take their God-given talents to teach people things that will destroy them in the end? Do you think that they will go to hell all because they ain't the ones that done it? They just the ones that said it. They the ones that promote it. They the ones that influenced it. I think that the influencer is doing far more damage than the person that is copying the influencer. So just because you never gave the devil a physical bill of sale in exchange for, of your soul in exchange for your status, does not mean that you're not selling your soul. Because in order for you to continue making money the way that you are and being the person you are and maintaining the status that you have to commit yourself, A, to a life of sin, and B, to a life of influencing other people to be in sin. So technically, you have and are and is continuing to sell your soul until you jump out of the race. Just because you and the devil never sat down at a round table and you gave him your soul in exchange for a dollar bill does not mean that that's not what you're doing. You are doing exactly what you're saying you're not. And the masses are too influenced, too starstruck by these people to be able to understand, wait a minute, they are the ones being put out there on the forefront to put messages inside of the back of my mind that is impugning my growth as a man or a woman and is influencing me to live a life that is totally against God. And if you don't think that doing that in exchange for money is selling your soul, and you really have to go back to the drawing board and figure out how to use basic logic. Basic logic is saying, if I, in order for me to make money, I have to do things that is putting strikes against my soul, then I'm selling it bit by bit. I'm selling it. All they got to do is change one word of it. One word. You change one word in a sentence, you change the sentence. Well, I'm not selling. Well, I never had to sell my soul. Yeah, you never had to, but you're doing it. I never sold my soul. That's a lie. You never sat at a round table to do it, but you're doing it each and every time you produce a record. You're doing it each and every time you appear on camera. And you are infecting other people with that kind of mindset that is going to send millions, if not billions, of people to hell, all because of what you put out there. All because you got up there and wore the chains and made it look like you the man, and this is what you do if you want to be like me. That's how people take that, believe it or not. And each and every person that gets out there as the example to follow is going to be more accountable in the end. The Bible said that, don't be too quick to want to be a teacher or a leader, because they will be held more accountable in the end. So how much more accountable in the end do you think that a satanic or a demonic or a sinful leader or teacher is going to be? I'm going to tell you something right now. There are far more people giving ear to the devil's magicians than there are people giving ear to God's prophets, pastors, teachers, evangelists. There's so many more people that tune in to hip hop than they do tune in to the word. And so not only are you a teacher, not only are you a leader being held more accountable because you are a leader, you're actually leading far more people. Think about that. I never sold my soul, but yet in exchange for money, I'm teaching young boys the art of murder. And and this is what I gotta produce. My label told me this is what we gotta make. You try and make a positive song, they're gonna shoot that right down and say this don't fit on the album. Well, in order for you to, maintain your contract and not to breach your contract, you gotta make this, that, and that. And they just do it because why? They're immersed in that world. It's almost no way for them to get out. And I'm not here to bash on the teachers and the leaders of the Matrix, because I understand that you can't easily jump out of that life and you feel like you're trapped. So many people who get famous and popular and things like that, they always talk about how lonely it is. They always talk about how depressed they are. And I know why they are, because they jumped into something that they can't get out of. And so what they do, they buy the cars, they buy the chains, they get the girls, they buy all the alcohol, all kind of drugs to be on in order to fill that void that they know should have been filled by God. Look into some of these superstars' eyes and you can see a person in there in a prison. They can't even talk to you for that long. But because if they do, they don't even know how to avoid saying what's really on their heart. They don't know how to avoid talking about it. At the same time, they're not allowed to talk about it. That's why they don't come around people that much. That's why they don't, that's why they're not always on interviews and all of that. I mean, they are, but not too often. Artists and famous people and things like that, they never really get a chance to speak their mind until their careers all dried up. Now I'm free to speak my mind because I don't have a contract to breach. Now I'm free to speak my mind because I don't have a record label to lose. I don't have a record deal to lose. I'm free to speak my mind because I'm not chained up. I'm not as chained to the, to the life of making money as I used to be. Just watch them. You wait till they get old and their career is already run their course and now they want to talk. But don't think that because you and the devil never sat at a round table and you wrote in blood, I'm selling my soul in exchange for this. Don't think that because that didn't happen, that you're not selling your soul. You know, I used to listen to a rap group a long time ago called 3 6 Mafia. I love 3 6 Mafia. Well, I loved 3 6 Mafia's music. It was hypnotizing. I mean, it was mostly hypnotizing, but I just love that grungy art of music at a point in time. And I I used to listen to a song that I can't necessarily say the lyrics anymore because I don't really know how they go, but it was a song that went like, I gotta stay high, till I die. Well, listen, a lot of these people really do make contracts with the devil, and he might be like, well, I'll give you this, but you gotta stay high. Don't think that the devil don't say that to people. In order for you to maintain this, you gotta stay high. In order for you to do this, I want you to tat your whole body up. In order for you to do this, I want you to produce murder music. In order for you to do this, I want you to be a drunk. In order for you to do this, I want you to be a whore. But because he never said, in order for you to do this, I want your soul, you think you're not selling your soul. A whore goes to the same hell Marilyn Manson will go to if he don't repent. A drunk will go to the same hell that Eminem will go to if he don't repent. A person that teaches murder music will go to the same hell that Jay-Z will go to if he don't repent. A lot of these people can't repent. They're not even people anymore. They're just fully demon possessed. Because they look like people to you, you just take them as people. You gotta understand, man. The devil's a master deceiver. I was deceived by the devil one too many times. That's why I don't care about talking about it. Because if nobody says something to people, nobody's gonna know. You are selling your soul every day you commit yourself to a life of sin in exchange for money. And some people sell their soul for so much less than money. Comfort. Peace. I mean, I don't think, peace is worth less than money, but, for things that are other than money. You exchanging your time with God for the game. You selling your soul to the game. I mean, just think about that, man. I'm talking about video games, not the rap game or the famous game or the industry games or nothing like that. I'm exchanging my time with God for TV. It ain't nothing wrong with having some fun, but always remember who your provider is and who your father is and who your maker is. You don't have to destroy the world in order to have a comfortable life. You can start a barbecue business. I mean, you can make money faster as an entrepreneur, starting a regular, normal business as a contributor to society than you can being famous. You could produce income faster starting a business than you can being a drug pusher. You really can. I had conversations with a lot of, with a lot of guys that's in the game. How much do you make in a month? I'm like, dang, well, if that's the case, why ain't you? Just ask them. Let's sit back and think. As a drug pusher, how much you make in a month? As the weed man on the corner, how much you make in a month? You know how much a business can produce in a month? tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars in a month doing stuff that you don't have to look over your shoulder for, doing stuff that you don't have to hire bodyguards for, doing stuff that you don't have to risk your freedom for, doing stuff that you don't have to sit back and numb your conscience about. You don't gotta numb your conscience in order to make a living. You don't gotta make a living and numb your conscience about it at the end of the day. You know, buying stuff to make you feel more justified at what you're doing. Giving back to the community to make your own self feel better. Just because you gave back to the community and had a turkey drive, it will not fix the millions of people that you destroyed in the mine. Have a good day.